Hello, everybody. This is the day God has given us. We praise and thank Him. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am very excited. The semester at Harvard is completed. People are traveling different places. And today we are here at TJKshares, one-on-one with TJK, are honored and excited to host a special person. As we have promised you, we bring you people who are doing transformational work around the world so you can see it's all up to us to change the world. Now we are moving continents, going all the way across the world to dig up this change maker. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Sneha. Sneha, welcome TJK, and please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Jackson. Very nice to be here. And my name is Sneha Harsh, and I'm from India. I'm from a very small part of India, which is a tribal land known as Jharkhand. And we are known for our forest and tribal art and culture. I will tell more about it, but I did my undergraduate degree from Lady Shri Ram College. It's a University of Delhi. And I also got scholarship to go study abroad in Japan. And then I started working with a nonprofit and in sustainable spaces and education consulting. And after that, I'm here at Harvard today. And I graduated last week.
Jay Han. Sneha Harsh.
So it's very exciting.
Please join me in congratulating Sneha on graduating with her master's. She will talk a little bit more about that and where she's going with this Harvard degree. I was honored to meet Sneha when we started Advanced Leadership Initiative at Harvard, and Sneha was one of the students at Harvard who were working in our office. Every cohort member, Sneha, I want to tell you this, loves you, adores you, and wants to adopt you right away. I can speak for some of them, but I've seen the love. You saw it on graduation when we all showed up to cheer you up, though some of them had their own children who were graduating, who were cheering for you. So it's been a pleasure getting to know you. But when we had lunch in your residency at campus in Harvard Yard, by the way, I've done a video on Harvard Yard, so some of our viewers will go back and see this. You shared your story, and I was inspired by your story, and I told you I would like to speak to you so we can share it with the world. The viewers are so many. Many are young people from Uganda who we would like them to know that to make a difference, all it takes is you as a person. So you grew up in India. Tell us a little bit about your parents, your siblings, the environment. You said about the forest. We will pull up the map of India and point where you were born and raised. And I hope your parents can see this and see your smile and how proud we are all of you. I know they are extremely proud.
Thank you so much. So my parents are from... So before Jharkhand was in Bihar, so I was born in Bihar, but then Jharkhand was separated, and it is today Ranchi, and that is and 15 kilometers away from the city. There is a village known as Ratu, and that is where I was raised. So there is a beautiful, I think, chemistry between my mom and dad. There is 16 years of age gap between my parents, and that really helped us to understand the dynamics, how my mom was cooperating in the family setting, and how and so my father was working away from our family, and we were in our own community, which is a small village. So we used to see our father maybe once a week, or sometimes when he was posted even far, so once a month. So that was really difficult, me as a child, to see my father so less. But while growing up, I did not know the world looks so big. I thought that is where the world is. So there was a small pond near my house, and I used to go there to play, and I used to throw stones to the pond, and there was a ripples. And one day, my friend said, "Oh, look, these ripples are so beautiful." And I told them that this is like dream, because this is how dreams also have ripples effect. And I thought, I think I can also do so much more. And when I was growing up, I could see that there is a problem of human trafficking in my community, and women are being sold. Young girls are being trafficked to new cities, big cities. And that is where I realized that how to bring them back and how to stop this problem. And there can never be anything but education. There was an instance when I met a woman where her husband used to beat her. And then I asked her, "Why do you let him do that?" And she said, "I am illiterate. I cannot do anything else. At least he's feeding my children." So that is when I realized, can I feed her? No. Can I feed her all meals, 3 meals for 365 days? No. She has to become self-empowered. And that can only happen either through entrepreneurship or education, but who would do that? So in order to do that, I had to step back and go to New Delhi for my undergraduate degree. So this is how my community looked like, where now things are changing. People are sending their daughters to school, not believing in having more kids means more resources and helping them in fields. But I can see the transformation happening. But there were the same community people who came to my house and said that, "Oh, your daughter is 18 right now. It is the best time to get her married. So do not send her New Delhi for her undergraduate degree, because what will happen? She will have more trouble getting married because this is her prime time." So yeah, now the same community came to my place to say, how can I send my daughter to Delhi or to Japan or to US? So I think that really gives me power to do more and more.
So, in other words, you've been a trailblazer, and also a pathfinder. Your parents took a chance to educate you in a community where girls are not generally educated, and you've been the one who encourages others to get education, thinking about that woman who is beaten by the husband. Are they still trafficking girls in your community today?
There's still trafficking girls in my community, but government is taking steps to bring education. But I feel that there is more inspiring stories needed, because that helps our young girls to dream big and big and big, because everybody is dreaming, but dreaming big is so important. And that's what I want to tell the girls in my community, that it is possible. Dream comes true. And please, every day I used to wake up thinking, what can I do? And I used to cry every night that I did not do enough for my community. And so that itself was a big motivation. And that's what I want for my women from my community, that please dream big.
And we are getting you here so you can encourage not just your community, but the world community, the global community. And for some of the people who are listening who didn't know this still exists, trafficking, these are girls who are sold into all sorts of things, including becoming sexual workers against their will. So we have a lot of work to do. So you went to New Delhi, you attended undergraduate education. How did you end up in Japan?
So, as a child, when I came to New Delhi, people ask me, how is United States? I feel my biggest culture shock when I went to Delhi. And all my life, I was studying the course books, and nobody told me that to read about American music or these serials or anything else. So I thought, who would talk to me? But as a curious student at Lady Shri Ram College, I was kept on applying to many opportunities. And when I applied to Japan, because I was very interested in Japanese history and tradition, and this course was all about contemporary Japanese culture and society. And when I saw my name, because there were like hundreds of applications, and I knew that, why me? I mean, one side, yes, I am applying, but there were like many more students. And when I saw my name, I went to my principal's office and I said, I saw my name and please tell me this is not right. It did not even give me goosebumps or anything because I know it is not right. And she said that I have seen you working so hard and you have inspired, so many lives here in our campus. Go inspire many more lives. And that was the biggest jump I did from India to Japan. It felt like I was in a cliff and somebody gave me a really good push to go see the world. And a girl from this small town in India was in Japan, new language, new technology, new friends, and it was so beautiful.
And what did you study in Japan? Do you speak Japanese?
I do speak Japanese.
Can you at least say greetings to you, all my lovely people of the world, in Japanese?
Konnichiwa, minasan.
Thank you. I should have learned the thank you part. I know the Ohio.
Ohio is good morning, and thank you is arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu. Good Japanese speaker who's going to make fun of me now. So you studied in Japan, and when did you decide to come to Harvard? Did you choose Harvard or did Harvard choose you?
Lovely. So in India, I come from a lower caste, and in India, we also have reservations. And there have been friends who told me once that, you know what? Since you got reservation, that is how you got into University of Delhi. And that is when I realized, but Japan, I did not get through reservation, right? I was the two students from thousands of students who got this opportunity to go study abroad in Japan. And about Harvard, I always wanted best for my community. And since the whole community was looking up to me, to my dream, my career, my pathway, I always wanted to set the best benchmark for them. And even if I graduated last week, I'm happy about the graduation, but I think I'll be happier the day when there will be another girl from my community will come and graduate, and I will cheer for her.
Yes, me too. I'm cheering for them.
Yeah. So that's my biggest dream to achieve, to help them go their version of Harvard. Harvard was my dream. Yes. Their version of Harvard could be something else. And I want to be the enabler in their life.
So you want to inspire more girls, more children, more community members to meet their dreams, whether that dream is Harvard, whether it is Delhi or Japan or Uganda. Wherever that dream takes them, you want to inspire dreams.
I would love to visit Uganda.
Definitely would welcome you to Uganda anytime. So at Harvard, tell the people listening to you right now what you studied and how you plan to use that knowledge you gained from Harvard University.
Sure. So I came here to pursue my degree in Masters in Education, and the degree was in Learning Design, Innovation, Technology. And coming from a rural background in India, technology has always been a problem, especially when we were experiencing COVID days. During pandemic, people who do not have technology has suffered the most because they were not getting good quality education. And that is when I realized that education technology is very important. And this degree is helping me to learn more about technology, explore my career into education technology, and keep learning. So during my days at Harvard, I also took courses at MIT Media Lab, and that helped me to learn more and go deeper into the world of technology. And there is much more we can do. There is much more to learn, and there is much more to implement. So now after Harvard, I would like to go on an implement stage so that there should be quality education in my village. Even I am here, even if we have, for example, what we are doing right now, it is a really good resource for communities back in India, Uganda, anywhere in the world to help them reach these resources. And I do not want them to be feeling that resources like money, resources like network should be the barrier, and let technology help to reach that resource to them in their doorsteps.
That's very good. Technology, education, technology, the gap between those who have the technology and those who don't have is very huge. So what's your dream job? If you were to design your own job right now and Sneha gets the job, will it be World Bank, United Nations, UNICEF, or the above? Where? What's your dream job?
So before talking about job, I would like to talk about two areas which really touch my heart, especially like inclusive education. Before coming to Harvard, I really wanted to work in inclusive education space, and that is where I worked with Ekadamar Foundation. This is where we tried and we are working how can we make the education space equal for everyone, but we focused on blind population. And that is where also technology, accessible technology, adaptive technology we worked on, and how can we make this one classroom inclusive for both blind as well as students with sight.
Yeah.
So my dream job would look like how can I help my community feel that we are sitting in an equal space regardless of their caste, regardless of their disability, regardless of their financial trouble. So my next job or my future job or my dream job should help me to be the enabler, to be the catalyst for doing that. So that's where I see myself doing.
That's very good. Well articulated and well said. Aria, you said something and you just repeated it. For the world that does not understand the caste system, can you please shed more light what the caste system looks like in India and what impediments it brings on society?
Sure. So in India, we have hierarchies. So especially, so those are done through your birth. So the family you are born, so it is not your mistake to be born in a family who belongs to the particular community, belongs to the particular caste, and your surname decides what caste are you from. Mostly it is changing a lot, but in earlier days your surname can tell what caste are you from. So anybody can meet you and tell that, oh, your surname is this, you belong to this caste, and within that caste you are supposed to get married, and you would be known for the profession that you are working in. For example, people who does work for I don't know, like blacksmith, cobbler, washerman, so all these categories have their own communities, so the whole business is working in that line. So in a way that a child become a doctor from that community will still be known for that community. And when it comes to the class, they are also known as untouchables, which means that the higher caste people would not like to be touched by them, would not like to be invited to their house, or will not invite them to their house. It is changing a lot, but this is how in early days used to be. But if we go to the rural areas, it is still you can still experience these discriminations.
This is something all of us who advocate and fight to defend human rights need to continue fighting, that all human beings are equal regardless of your last name. Last name is surname, ladies and gentlemen. That all human beings are equal, whether they are female or what, and this is still happening. We need to continue advocating against it. You have accomplished so much at a young age, Sneha. I know when we spoke, we talked about sustainable menstrual hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
And you told me how you have been an advocate for this, what you've done in that area. Please tell us a little bit about it, your role, and some of the stories and how the world can help.
Thank you so much. Yes. So in India and especially in Asia and Africa, the research says, the stats says that many school dropouts, especially females, because of their menstrual, monthly cycles. So that is where another, I thought, because I told you I advocate for women education, and that was one hindrance. And then once I was in my community and I asked a woman that, why are you using dirty cloths to help your periods? She said, I don't have 3 meals a day. I don't have money. I don't have, anything. How
Yeah.
can I afford a period product? And that is when I also realized that the landfills, each woman contributes 150 kilograms of period waste, which is 1,000 tampons and, 10,000 tampons and sanitary napkins in their entire life, which is a huge burden to the landfills, and which is really direct, affecting our climate and the whole environment in general. And that is when I got to know about menstrual cups. And menstrual cups are, the silicone product, and it can go up until 10 years in each woman's life. And I remember there used to be like so many NGOs coming in the community and distributing sanitary napkins and taking the pictures and posting it online. And I felt they're helping these women maybe for 2 cycles, 3 cycles. Are they gonna supply for their entire life? The answer is no, right? It will only be done until their funds remain. Otherwise, they will not do that. And when I got to know about menstrual cups, and I was also associated with Sirona Hygiene, which is a really award-winning company in India, and they are doing a lot in communities. And I learned how there is a training behind it, and that is where I believe that the training is so much more important than just going and giving the cups. So yeah, here at Harvard itself, I was named as Sustainability Fellow, and we worked a lot in the campus across Harvard. And I think 2 months ago, I was also named as emerging climate leader at the Salata Institute of Climate Sustainability. So it was really a good recognition, and that helped me reach many more heights. So I remember when I got the invitation to go attend Earthshot event here at Harvard, where I got to see David Beckham and all of, Rami Malek and the prince and princess of Wales. And I think it was a really great moment for me. So yeah, sustainability is a thing. Climate change is real, and we need to mitigate it right now.
Very good. So this cup, were you able to get some of these cups to Harvard?
Yes.
People using them there?
We did talk about it, but there is a problem of how people it's change, because the communities in India and communities here are very different, and they do have different other problems. So it works very differently, but I did talk about the education aspect of it.
Okay. Because in societies where women are still putting so much value on virginity, would a girl who is still a virgin use that cup?
So yeah.
Remain a virgin.
So yeah, there is a lot of criticism. So that is why we do have like sizes for young girls, and then for medium, for the large. So we have worked with school children, and there have been so many complaints coming from parents' side, but it is a need of behavioral change. I feel my mother taught me how to use sanitary napkin. That is why I was using it. But the future educators, future generation who know the use of cups, they will tell their daughters to use cups. And that is where we can bring the change. I also
to be passed on from one generation to another.
That's right. Because it's a behavioral shift.
Exactly.
So we need the generation to, and that is why I feel as somebody who is advocating for it, we can start from non-school girls, right? Of course, that is my aim, to go and help the school going girls, but it's very important to help the mothers first, to help them understand the science behind it, that why it has nothing to do with your virginity, and it is helping your daughter go to school, and you don't have to worry about the sanitary napkins and tampons and all of that. So it is very important to educate mothers before educating the child.
Very good. So you educate the community, they get to know how to use it. And I'm very curious about this because I work with more than 20,000 women, and they are raising close to 88,000 children, mostly girls, in rural areas of Uganda. And you are absolutely right. We provide sanitary products. After 1 year of schooling, they need more, and they need more, and they are going in landfill, they're going in toilets, deep clean toilets, and they will never go away, regardless how many years. So the sustainable solution is what we would love to look at, and we'll continue talking about this subject and learning from you. Great, that's sustainable, that is innovative, and has been used in India. People, before you start discounting this cup, learn more about it. We'll share the website, and we can see how we can all continue to play a part in climate change. We've talked about your education. We've talked about Japan. We've even taught our viewers a little bit of Japanese. We've talked about sustainable menstrual hygiene. And I'm also going to connect you with a friend of ours in Bangladesh who makes Ella pads. Because all these factories in Asia have women who are working around the clock who could benefit from these cups, and these companies can buy them for them and distribute them so they don't have to use garments. And we talked about your future job. Believe it or not, Sneha, there are many employers who watch this channel. And so when I asked you that question, I meant it. So the employers who are looking for people to change the world through education and uplift others, Sneha is your person. What didn't I ask you that you want to talk about?
My love for traveling. I know America is very expensive, and I hope one day I can afford traveling in this country as well. But I always believe in traveling, and traveling starts from traveling local. And it's very important to know about your own country, about your local community before stepping out, because once we go away, I don't think sometimes we don't even get time to look back and appreciate our own culture. And so I love traveling. I love meeting people. I love knowing their stories, and because there is so much we can learn from them. And so that is how I travel. I travel through stories. I meet people. I would like to know about their journey, because there is 1,000 ways to do one thing, and I would like to learn those things. How are the ways to do one thing in different ways? And storytelling is something I enjoy a lot.
Very good. So you've been in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Have you traveled around the state, and have you visited any other state apart from Massachusetts?
I have been to Atlanta during my Christmas holidays. A friend of mine invited me to visit her place. So that was a good opportunity for me to travel, and it was a beautiful experience. And I would love to travel more. A part of my dream job, I also want that. If it can help me travel more, I think I will be happier working what I'm doing. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, there are so many. You still have 50 states to go to.
Yes.
Come to Michigan, New York, you can take a train. Washington, D.C. is close there. So before you get a job right now, I always say that traveling is like a book.
Yes.
When you read a book and turn pages, those who don't travel are always stuck on the cover. You only see the cover. There's so much under there, and you can travel cheap. You don't have to be very expensive. I've been lucky to travel, and I know we share that love of travel. But look at you, small part of India, New Delhi, the capital, Japan, you've already done that. Now you're in the United States. Next thing you're going to be in London. Next thing you'll be in South Africa. Who knows? And all over the world. So all the best in all the travels, and I'm glad you are making a little bit deep one at a time. And I hope you get a job also that allows you to travel. That's another way of traveling and seeing things faster. At one point, you were a young person, 18, 21. We have so many listeners who are in that category. What advice would you give young people who are listening right now?
I would say create your own story. Don't follow anything, but your story is only your story. I would like to share one story here. When I came back from Japan, I applied to 5 universities in the US and 1 university in Canada. I got rejection from all 5. And then I thought, okay, at least I got through 1 university in Canada. Let's go there. I packed my bag from Ranchi to New Delhi. I was all set. I remember my flight to Vancouver was to Philippines. I had 10 hours layover. I had the whole plan what I'm going to do in that 10 hours. But a day before my flight, I decided not to fly because I was somehow not doing what I want to do. Just because I got rejected from one of the 5 universities were Harvard. So I got rejection, and I was just going what I got. I decided not to board the flight. I came back. It was a panic attack. I did not know how my tomorrow looks like, but I knew that this time it is gonna be only Harvard. And few months later, COVID came. I started working with the US-based nonprofit that gave me an opportunity to supervise interns from Harvard University, New York University, and MIT. And guess what? 2 years later, I applied only to Harvard and nowhere else, because if I had to go anywhere, I would have gone 3 years ago. So I would say, write your own story.
Make your own story.
Yes.
Don't give up. Yes. Persistence. There's so many. You got so lots of advice right there in that summary, Sneha. And I appreciate you sharing it, because sometimes when you go to your village and share these stories, they say, oh, Sneha is at Harvard. We know her when she was growing up. But for other people to hear this perspective from different people around the world is not only a blessing, it's an honor.
And it is not easy at all. I mean, even at Harvard, I was doing 2 part-time jobs to sustain myself in this expensive country. And every time I was hiding with my smile because I have to, but it doesn't mean that I will not enjoy. So everything is possible. It's just you need to dream big. Don't just dream.
So what you are saying is Harvard is not all glory. Everything is... You struggle? People at Harvard struggle too?
I think so. Everything is so expensive here. Even meeting a friend costs you a coffee, or going to a networking event, or attending so many conferences. Everything costs money. And person like me who is here on a scholarship, it is a big problem. And at times when I go back to my room, I feel like I want to cry, because it was a difficult day for me. But it's okay. It's fine. I know my friends do not have to do 2 part-time jobs, even 1 part-time job, but it's okay. I'm here. And not everybody gets to be here. And I feel now life looks easier than what it was, because even if I am looking for my jobs, but journey from my village to here was much more difficult than now.
And I think we are going to share this with our cohort members. Earlier, you talked about working with students who have vision problems. We have cohort members who are working in India, actually, with students who are deaf, Carol and Val. And when you are talking about the struggles, I also met several students, specifically 3. I won't say their names because I don't have their permission. One of them told me, I said, let's go talk about your project in a class. I was taking Fernando Rema's class. And he said to me, Jackson, I want to be sincere. I cannot go out for coffee. I can't afford it. This man had carried all the food he needed for 1 year he was going to spend at Harvard. He paid the money himself and took a loan from his country so he can pay for the degree he was going to get. And he said, I don't take an Uber. I haven't taken a train. I walk every day and I make my meals in my house. When I was close to running out, I sent somebody home to bring me more food, and I've not bought a single thing in Cambridge during the time because it's that hard. In the business school, there was another student who told me the same thing. Said, I bring my juice in my pocket, in my backpack, and this is a school that has billionaires and billionaires. There is that unspoken struggle that students go through. And the ones I've met are international students. That's so much difficult to be there, even with a scholarship. And I'm so glad you brought this up. So Harvard, please.
Harvard has helped me a lot. I remember when I had to pay for my dining hall bills and I did not have money. And I went to the Office of Student Affairs here at Graduate School of Education. And I said, my account will be blocked. And day after tomorrow is the last date. What should I do? Should I again go to bank and say that send more money that will add up to my loan? They said, your account will not be blocked. We will take care of it. And even my dining hall bills, they helped me. So I am so grateful for the support I got from Office of Student Affairs at Hugsy.
Yes. So one thing is for students to talk about it. When you don't know, you don't know. And some of these issues, Harvard, the institution, might not know about it. But when you talk about it, like when this student told me about it, definitely I took him to coffee, but I also gave him a little bit of spending money. So he can have another coffee another day. He doesn't have to feel like he cannot do coffee because he does not have the money to buy it. But there are resources. Open up, talk about these issues, share about the struggles. We've all gone through a lot of struggles to get where we are, and we want to pave the way so others don't have to go through the same pitfalls we've gone through.
Exactly. And even if I graduate and I thought, where will I stay? Because I had to vacate my dorm the next day. Where will I go? And here comes my host family. And it's a beautiful family. And they said, we're going to host you in our house this summer and treat this as your own house. And I feel so great. And this is how we must know that pay it forward so that I can also be able to do that. So they are a family who is also from my own place, my own state in India, and they are well established here. So I'm very thankful.
I met the lady at your graduation. As we conclude, Sneha, tell us the day of graduation. I woke up at 5:20, had to be at the yard with all those lines to get in the yard. And I was just a spectator, a supporter of you, of Abdallah, all the people who were graduating. For you as a graduate, walk us through the day and the emotions it evoked. Because I know part of the disappointment, happiness is there, you are finishing, but to not be able to see your mom and dad in the audience as you graduate.
I woke up with the music of bagpipers, which was right by the law school. And I thought, what does this morning look like? And then I felt this is so special. I wore my regalia, I wore the gown, I wore the cap, and I called my mother. My mother started crying. And I said, Mommy, I'm graduating today. I'm graduating from Harvard University. She said, every mother in India has a dream to see her daughter as a bride. Today, I am so proud to see my daughter graduating from Harvard University. So I think that really touched my heart. And that is when I also put my parents' picture on my hat. And I carried my hat with me. And so they were there with me, watching me online. So one day, when I'll be able to afford their travel, afford their living, I want to show them a really good version of Harvard and America, because I tell only good things about my life here. Because if I share anything not too good, they will be worried. And but when I will invite them here, I want them to see exactly what I have been telling them, good things. And they will be able to see this. And again, we will do the graduation photo shoot with my parents. And I hope the day is not that far.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that and sharing that moment. Mom and Dad, when they watch this, they will know the trip will be coming, and we'll all be praying for you get them to come and enjoy this. Everybody, thank you for watching. Please do share, do subscribe, and know that you can make a difference in somebody's life, regardless whether you are from the caste system, or you are facing racial injustice, or you are facing classism, or any racism. Right now, we are recording this while Uganda is also going through a law they just passed. No matter the discrimination people face, we can beat it. We can go through it together. Globally, we can make a difference. Thank you. Have an amazing day.
Thank you so much, everybody.